Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Anish Shetty, professor and consultant. So, in today's session, that is on fourth session, we will try to cover different levels of management, function and role of a manager, managerial skills, managerial effectiveness. So, what are the levels of management? Although all managerial performance are same, that is planning, organizing, directing, and controlling, there are levels among them. The term level of management refers to line demarcation between the various manager position in any organization. So in general, they are divided into three lines or three levels. One is the lower level management. In this, it includes first line managers, also known as supervisors or operational level management, foreman, etc., or even to in some extent team leaders also. In case of a middle level management, it consists of general managers, regional managers, etc. They are responsible to the top management for functioning of their departments, and the middle managers are responsible in allotting the duties of a for good strategic point of view to the lower level managers. The last one is the top level management. For example, uh, Bill Gates. So he is the Microsoft uh, uh, one of the Microsoft owners, or also initially he was the vice president. Then Steve Jobs, who was the ex uh, president for Apple. So the job of this top level managers is they are the ultimate source of authority. It includes people who make the goals or policy of the organizations. They bring change in the organization, such it may be cultural, environmental, etc. So if we see this pyramid, the pyramid is divided into three parts: top, middle, and the lower. So if you see the lower level management people, they are emotionally intelligence, coaching for performance, etc. While in case of a middle level manager, they are a problem solving, team building, talent development, performance management, etc. But the top people are the executive coaching, change management, leadership, delegation, empowerment, etc. They are dealing with. So what is the role of top management? So the top management lays down the objective and broad policies of enterprise. Okay, and it issues necessary instruction for the preparation of department budgets, procedures, schedules, etc. So they are the people who will decide, okay, tomorrow we have to whether we have to produce a new product or we have to modify the product, what is the finance needed to develop that new product, how much money should go in the R&D, how much money should go in the advertisement, all this budgeting also they will decide. Okay, but they not decide at the till the micro level, so they will just finalize a rough financial plan for the organization. The role of the top management can be summarized at it additionally appoints the executive for the middle level, that is the department managers. Okay, so for example, one they can appoint a manager for production, a manager for QC, a manager for uh, purchase, manager for quality control, manager for external affairs, etc. It controls and coordinates the activity of all the departments. It also responsible for maintaining a contact with the outside world, for example shareholders and other things. Okay, if there are any investors, they are the person who will have in contact with them. Now also the top management is also responsible how their company behaves. They are also answerable to all the shareholders, all the investor, outside investor if any. If you consider the middle level management, They are the persons, for example, regional head or branch managers, etc. They are responsible to the top management for functioning of any department. They devote more time to the organization and directional functions. Okay, so whatever the policies are defined at the upper level, or what if that are implemented by this people at the mid level. So in generally I can say they are the people who will execute between the plan done at the upper level to the success part. Okay, so whatever the policies are made, everything, they see to that they are executed at all level in their organization. Also, they interrupt and explain the policy from the top management to the lower level. It also sends important reports and other important data to the top management. What are the sales and or any other requirement is there. They evaluate the performance of their junior managers or at the low level managers, and they are also responsible for inspiring the low level management towards their better performance. Okay, so they have to keep on motivating also the lower level managers. Now what about the lower level management or managers are? They help to solve the day-to-day problems. They arrange necessary material, machine tool, etc. for getting the things. They prepare the periodical reports about the performance of the workers. For example, in this case, they can see this chart and decide why one machine is idle. They can plan their complete manufacturing task. Okay, so they have to even provide what are the material, see to that whether material is raw material is available or not. Additionally, they have to evaluate the performance of the workers. Additionally, they are also responsible for discipline in the enterprise. They have to motivate their workers who are working below them. They also are the image builders for the enterprise, because they are the person who are in direct contact with the workers. Now the next topic comes is the function and roles of a manager. So who is the manager? A manager is a person responsible for planning and directing the work of group of individuals, monitoring their work and taking corrective actions whenever necessary. Also, we can say a manager is a person responsible for supervising and motivating the employees for directing the progress of any organization. Now, the idea of a role comes from psychology, sociology, and is the pattern of action expected of a person in his activity involving others. A senior manager who occupies different position and different situation plays different role, because the people in his situation have different expectation of him concerned with his function. So this is nothing but like a mid-level manager. When he is speaking with the top level management, the expectation from him will be different. Definitely when he is speaking with his lower level managers, his expectations are different. So in general, any manager may be responsible, or the roles of and responsibility of manager can be divided into three parts: interpersonal, informational roles, and decisional roles. So in interpersonal comes the figurehead, leader, etc. In informational role comes monitor, spokesperson, etc. While the decision is entrepreneur, negotiator, resource allocator, etc. So let's see all these different three roles one by one. So in case of a interpersonal role, the first is figurehead. A manager has a social, ceremonial, and all the legal responsibility. He is expected to be a source of inspiration. People look up to him as a person with authority and as a figurehead. For example, if anything, a machine is broke down, as a worker, he will see to his immediate manager, a supervisor, to solve that as soon as possible. but it's definitely the same. He becomes a lower level manager to a mid level manager, and then he expects the mid level manager to allow him to purchase the part of the machine at faster rate so that the problem is solved. Okay. Also, irrespective of what type of positions you are holding, they have to represent their companies at a at different social uh, platforms. Now, the leader. This is where the manager provides the leadership for his team, his department, or perhaps the entire organization also. It is where the manager manages the performance responsibility of everyone is in the group. It is always said a great leader is the one who creates more leaders. So it should not happen that okay, I have to see the I am the manager and the company should depends upon me. So it is a simple saying, a leader can be called as a great leader if he or she develops the future leaders also. So in his absence, the show should go on. Okay, so that is the quality of a great leader. The third is license. Manager must communicate with both internal and external contact. He or she needs to be able to network effectively on behalf of his or her organization. So he has to continuously interact with uh, the external people or even the internal people or interdepartmental people, and the main interpersonal role is he should be have a good communication skill. The next one is monitor. So in this role, manager regularly seek out information related to his organization and industry, looking for relevant changes in the environment. He also monitor his or her teams in terms of both productivity and their well-being. So you can see if a manager comes every day and asks their workers what is their problem, can he solve it? Maybe personal or professional. So that will shows the workers commitment towards their company. Next is the informational role of the of a manager. So there are a disseminator. This is where the manager communicate potential useful information to his colleagues and his team. Now this may be, for example, any policies defined by the top management. Okay, it should be communicated, or any target set by the top manager, for example for sales and other things, how we can achieve it. All this should be properly communicated to his or her subordinates. Next is a spokesperson. So manager represents and speaks for his organization. In this role, he is responsible for transmitting information from his organization, its goals, to the people outside. Now, this spokesperson's role may be different for different people. For example, a spokesperson of any political party, his role is what are the goals of his political party, what are their views from the economic point of view, or to the current political situation he'll be speaking. But a spokesperson of the company, he will be only dealing with what are how financially its company is strong, what are its plans for future development of the company, for future development of the shareholders. All this will be said by the spokesperson of a company. Next is the decision role of a manager. There are first two decision roles are entrepreneur and disturbance handler. So as a manager creates and controls the change within the organization. This means he should have a problem solving capability, generating new ideas and implementing them. Okay. When an organization or team hits any unexpected roadblock, it is his responsibility to take charge and as a mediator and solve the dispute if any. The next is resource allocator and negotiator. So you, as a manager, he has to make a decision. Okay, this is my problem. Which person can do this one? Okay, why he, where he can do, when, how, what, who. All this will be, he has to make a decision. Definitely, many cases a manager has to directly or indirectly interact with the customers. Okay, so that time he may have to go to the negotiation table and negotiate the deal. So sometimes, okay, I can give only a 10% discount, or I can go for a 12% or 15%, depends upon the customer. I can decide. So I can negotiate either in terms of the payment terms, or so that I can give him additional 2 or 5% discount, or I can say, okay, I can give only 10% discount, but the payment terms, instead of 30 days you can make a payment of 60 days. So that is the quality of a negotiator which is needed in case of a manager. So manager skills. So this graph shows the partitions. There are three skills: conceptual skills, human relation skill, and technical skills. So both these conceptual and technical are related to decision making, but human relation skill is the depends upon it. It's related to a leadership quality. So if you see the graph, so the top management, they are more concentrated on conceptual, human relation, okay, but a technical skill not much needed. Mid level, you can see how much they need. Supervisor level, they need more technical than the human. Conceptual skills needed are very less. So what are these technical skills? The technical skills refers to the ability to use tools, equipment, procedure, techniques, and knowledge of a specialized field. It is primarily concerned with the way of doing the things. It implies proficiency in a specific field of activity. Technical skills are most important for lower level manager, because by nature of their the job involves supervision of the workers. In case of human skills are primarily concerned with person in contrast to the things. When a manager is highly skilled in employee relation, he is aware of their attitude, assumptions, and the belief, and recognize their limitation as well as their usefulness. He accepts as an important fact of life the existence of viewpoint, feelings different from his own. Thus, human skill refer to the ability of the manager to work efficiently as a group member and to build a cooperative effort in the team he leads. So this feature, that is human relation, is needed in all three levels of management. Conceptual skill. Conceptual skill, also called as design and problem solving skill, involving the ability to see the organization and various components of it, understood how its various parts and functions are related in the network fashion, or to foresee how changes in one of these may affect the others. Thus, the managers who are there at the top level needs to possess these skills for effective management of the organization and leads towards the stated goal. So they have to define the future policies, future plans, everything. Okay, so they should be, in generally I can say, the visionary skill. Conceptual skill is nothing but the visionary skill of a manager. Next, what we will see is the managerial effectiveness. So there are two definitions: efficiency and effectiveness. So efficiency is the ability of a manager to do something correctly, that is at the lowest possible cost, or cost acceptable in the current competitive environment. Effectiveness is the ability of the manager to do correctly things, achieve high levels of value whatever he is or she is doing. So let's understand this using a simple equation, that is value is equal to quality divided by price. So if I increase the quality of the product and keeping the price constant, what will happen? The value of that product will increase. But at the same time, if I increase the quality and additionally I will decrease the price also, whatever will happens to its value? It will increase heavily compared to the first case. So let's understand this with a simple car manufacturing who can provide the customer a better car without changing the price. The value has gone up. If he gives a customer a better car at a lower price, the value will goes more up. So for example, let's consider there is a car, two cars. One is what with power steering, another one is non-power steering. So if what happens if I'm using a power steering car, I will, as a driver, I will feel very comfortable even if going for a long drive. So my quality is increased heavily. Okay, but if the manufacturer price at the same give the car at the same price, which is also not having power steering, then definitely I go for a car with a power steering, because the quality in that case is high compared to the non power steering car, but the price is remaining constant, or in general its value has increased. Additionally, if I say I'm giving you a power steering car, but the price of power steering car is 5% less than the non-power steering, what will happen? The value will increase more. You will try to buy a power steering car more. Same applicable if consider a second example where there is power windows and there is non-power windows. So in this case you have to use a handle, go on rotating, and the windows will come up and down. And this is a power window arrangement where a driver can control all the four windows. Okay, so if I provide a customer the power windows, its quality will increase. But if I keep the price constant, value is increased by small amount. But if I reduce the price, again the value will increase more. So let's go for next example. Efficiency and effectiveness creates in sometimes conflict also. For example, at the customer service counter at a local store or a bank, being efficient means using the few people possible at the counter. Okay, being effective though means minimizing the amount of time that customer needs to wait in line. So what it means is, I have to see first, I have to answer effectively. Suppose I am sitting as a customer on a customer desk, okay, on the counter. I am the bank employee. So when the customer comes, I have to solve his or her queries as soon as possible. Additionally, in that time, whatever I'm solving, that should be effective. Okay, so the efficiency has increased, so I'm solving all the customer queries in 1 minute, and effective means the rate of solution is also correct. So whatever the solution is giving, that is the correct solution. So although efficiency is important, effectiveness is more critical. Let's say I am answering all the questions in 1 minute, but out of that more than 70% I am giving the wrong information, not accepted. So that's why efficiency is important, but effectiveness is more critical. Okay, so that is what we covered in today's lecture. So different levels of management we have covered. We have saw the roles of a manager, and then effectiveness and efficiency. So if you have any questions, you can directly message or text me. Thank you everyone.